Madam Clerk.
Thank you. I might be a little lengthy in my answer, so I apologize if I am. And I'm going to read it because I don't want to omit any speaking comments. An issue is brought up tonight about candidates running for office leaving their campaign material at various locations in Taylor Towers. This building is private property. Taxpayer money doesn't run the building. It is subsidized by HUD rent vouchers to certain tenants to assist them with their rent. Many of the tenants pay full market value for their rent. Residents live here because it is a safe, secure building, one in which they feel comfortable that no one from outside will come in who aren't invited. That is one of the reasons we have a waiting list and have on the average of only 2 vacancies at any given time. I will continue to protect those tenants. When I was a candidate for state representative, I was on the board of directors at the time. I was told I couldn't use the building for distributing campaign literature, nor could I campaign there. The difference between me and the non-incumbent candidate whose literature was found in the building is that I abide by the rules and have common courtesy for the residents. There are no solicitation signs at both entrance doors that are clearly visible. The residents know that this type of action is not allowed when they sign their lease per Article 28 of that lease agreement paper. There was even a threat they were going to go to the Attorney General's office with these emails. I'm sure the AG has better things to do than chase frivolous accusations. Talk about a waste of taxpayer money. Even if it were taxpayer money that runs the building, you can't have it both ways. Some non-incumbents filed a complaint with the state because some of the incumbents who had been endorsed by the police and fire departments had pictures taken with officers and firefighters in front of a rescue unit and a police car. The allegation was that these vehicles were purchased with taxpayer money, so these incumbents were using taxpayer money to campaign. Now you're saying you can campaign in Taylor Towers because it is run with taxpayer money, which it isn't, but you can't have it both ways. And will a complaint be made against the non-incumbent for using perceived taxpayer-funded buildings to campaign in? Another non-incumbent mailed campaign literature with his picture in front of a police car and a senior citizen bus, both of which were paid with taxpayer money. Where's the complaint to the state for this candidate? This same non-incumbent passed out campaign literature at the John Glenn High School homecoming parade, which is strictly forbidden. I had to tell you that at least 3 of those parents who were going to vote for him are no longer going to do that. A current sitting council person used some of the same pictures 2 years ago, but because he was a candidate the current non-incumbent supported, there was no public outcry by these non-incumbents. Even our governor and attorney general have used public buildings and police personnel in their literature. Are you also going to file a complaint against them? My first email spoke of my brother and I, Councilman Johnson, getting blamed for telling the candidate she couldn't pass out literature in Taylor Towers. I put this in the email because we have been accused of so many crazy things, including spreading rumors about the death of one of the former candidate's sons. It's absolutely absurd. There have been other accusations also. One of the non-incumbents currently running complained to the state that I purposely held up the mailing of ballots for the primary election so incumbents can get their literature printed. Another falsehood. All candidates, incumbents and non-incumbents alike, were given the date the ballots would be mailed for the primary election. Nothing was hidden. Well, I learned my lesson. The old adage, once you're numb, twice you're dumb, came into play. For the general election, I told everyone the ballots would be mailed out when they are processed, period. I gave no one a specific date, non-incumbents or non-incumbents. I treated no one differently except Councilman Coleman asked me at the meeting the night before the ballots were going to be mailed out, he asked when they were going to be mailed out. At that point, I knew for certain they were going to be mailed out the next day, at which point I told him that. He can attest to this fact. I have not played favorites with anybody. Some of the non-incumbents are running on a campaign on trying to bully and intimidate people. These are the backroom politics that give people who run for office a bad name. This is the same offensive type of politics that paint a nasty picture of most politicians. If you can't run on your values, on what your values are, then in my opinion, you have no values. I read a great article in the Detroit News July 22nd of this year by one of the editorial writers, Daniel Howes. He said, and I quote, "Successful leadership is grounded in positive vision, action, and respect, not bragging or generalization, and not by negative attacks on the competition that say more about the attacker than about the intended target. Well, I'm here to say that I have a job to do, that the citizens of the city voted me in to do, and I take that job very seriously. I will continue to do my job and take my responsibilities earnestly through my entire term of office. You cannot scare me with your tactics, nor take away from my focus on this election and from my job. I have integrity and credibility, which I have proven over the life of my public service. The only apology that is needed is by some of the non-incumbents who try to bend the rules to benefit themselves. I want to make it clear, I will not be bullied, nor will I be intimidated by you. Those type of tactics just won't work.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.